up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to day 102 of Fusion. Man, it is fun to do that for sure. Okay, what we're working on today is building our guides for our axle and the guides for each of the holes for the followers to go through today. We are going to do an interesting profile, and this tends to be, I would say, the best use of a guide to where you don't run into many issues. So here's what I mean by that. If you have a guide that uses a circular dowel rod or a true dowel rod, you run into some twisting motions if you don't want those twisting motions, and I don't. So if you want a twisting motion, you're going to use some circular true wooden dowel rods, but I want to keep this motion pretty linear, so I'm going to use square dowel rods that are a 1/4 inch thick. So the holes that I'm going to make here are in reference to that. You might want to adjust accordingly. So I'm going to hop into this sketch. We're going to start a sketch on this plane, and I need to find that center point of this square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit P for project. I'm going to project these lines. Actually, let's just highlight it all. Let's just do that. Is that going to let me do it? No. There we go. I'll just select those profiles. Okay. What we're going to do next is draw a construction line that goes diagonal to diagonal. And that'll give us our center midpoint, goes right through the line. Looks great. I'm going to select both of those lines, right click, and make them construction lines, just so that we don't accidentally reference any geometry, and it makes our extrusions or the features we're going to do here in a second a little bit easier to work with. So I'm going to hit C for circle. The first circle I'm going to do here is actually, I'm going to do 2 circles. The first circle is going to be a diameter of 3/8. So I'm just going to do 3 divided by 8. The second one is going to be a diameter of 1/2. And then, like I said, we are using square, specifically square dowel rods. So we need to draw a square profile as well. So I'm going to go down here for rectangle, do a center rectangle on this point, and I want that to be a 1/4 inch, tab, 1/4 inch, enter, and we have this 3-shaped profile that we're actually going to be the one using. Okay, now let's do it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude. I'm going to extrude the 3/8 circle and that square all the way through. We're just going to go ahead and cut it all the way through. Looks good. But we're going to use this sketch quite frequently, so I'm going to make that sketch 5 active again. And if you think, I'm going to rename it as box sketch, just in case I need to go back to it quickly, and we're going to have a lot of sketches later on. If you know you're going to reference that sketch frequently, it might be of help to name that sketch. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit E for extrude again. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do a 2-side, actually, you know what? Let's try it out. Let's do it. Let's do a 2-side extrusion. We're going to do this profile going out. Now, see, we can't do that because I'm going to do 2 different profiles. So let's try this again. What we're going to do is we're going to take that 3/8 and we're going to go inwards a 1/4 inch. So that's going negative 0.25. That's that thickness of the wall. And this is going to be a new body because it's going to be a bushing or a bearing for the axle to spin in. Since we do have a square dowel rod, we do need a circular surface, and that's how we're going to make that circular surface. I'm going to hit E for extrude again, but I'm going to make my box inactive just so I know I'm grabbing the right pieces. And the reason we have this 1/2 inch lip is because when we bring it out, it's a little bit easier to work with. We'll go ahead and click OK. All right, and then we can make our box active again. And now we see we have a bushing started for our rod. I do like that. Everything looks good. What we're going to do now is we're going to click mirror. We're going to mirror this follower rod around, make our box inactive, that back plane. So mirror plane is going to be that back plane. It's going to be a body. We can click OK. So now we got a matching bushing on the other side. Things are looking pretty good. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our axle for that system. So back to that sketch, the box sketch we have, we can actually make our bodies and our box inactive. Let's extrude. This axle is going to come out a 1/4 inch. And then it's going to be a 2-sided extrusion. And let's make those boxes and body active again. We could measure this distance here, and that would work. So it's going to be 4.75. There's a couple other ways to do that. You could measure it, type in the value. You could do extrude up to face. But we do want this to be a new body. Okay, so we've got 3 separate bodies in here. Looks good so far. Let's go ahead, and while we're at it, let's finish up this handle right here. So to make that, I'm going to make the box inactive. I'm going to go to my bodies, and we're going to make bodies 7 and 8 inactive, and we're going to work with this one right here. So I'm going to click on box sketch, and this is where we're actually going to edit. So let's create a larger diameter here for this to start the base of our handle. I think 3/4 of an inch is probably going to work out all right. I'm going to draw another handle up here for some distance. And I'm going to give that a 1/4 inch. Let's draw 2 lines to connect that handle together. And let's use tangent to make these lines tangent to each circle. Oh, it's already got tangent. There we go. Okay. And then the different distance between here and the center, we'll go ahead and make this just 1 inch overall. Okay. I think we're going to have one more circle we're going to need in here. We're going to do one more circle for our handle to actually go through. And let's give that a 1/4 inch diameter. Looks like I just accidentally did that, but everything is now looking good. We're going to E for extrude. We're going to extrude this shape out a 1/4 inch, so 0.25. And we're going to join. So we see how the only active component I have right now, or the one visible, is that bushing on the right that we're going to add to. And that's exactly what we want to do. We just want to add to that bushing. Looks good. Now, you might ask the question, why did we go through the process doing it? Well, we were able to mirror something, change our original, but then it didn't affect after the mirror. So we bring that body 7 active again. We can see that the bushing on the left is now just as the original. Oh, here we are. Okay. I think we got this. Let's go ahead and include, let's extrude again the handle. Let's bring this out. Let's do 1.25 inches. And let's make that a new body, because the handle, this part of the handle, is going to be a different material than everything else. All right, now that we have our components, our bodies, let's make these into components now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create new component, and we're going to go ahead and call that component, handle and axle. Okay. It does make this component active, but we're just going to select, hold down Shift, bodies 6 through 9, and drag and drop it in there. So now what it's done is it's created one entire component of all these bodies. What we could do, and you're absolutely welcome to, you can turn these into individual components. And actually, let's go ahead and just do that. Let's create these as new components. And so I'm going to click on the body, create component. Click on body 3, create component. And body 4, create component. We can go in here and label these. So we're going to call this right bushing, left bushing, axle, and handle. Okay, so by doing that, what we've essentially done is we've created a sub-assembly. So our box is noted as one component with multiple bodies. We named each body. Or what you could also do is you can name the individual components. Now here's the reason I did that the way it is because when I'm going to produce this, when I'm going to make it, I need to 3D print this right bushing and the left bushing, but I don't need to 3D print the axle or the handle. So I actually have to do a little bit different stuff when it comes to actually manufacturing this part. When I'm going to make the box is already pre-cut. All I need to do is glue it together. So I don't need to export any files. I don't need to do any of that. And so you run into a little bit of an issue with components and bodies when you're trying to export them. But with that being said, let's go ahead and make the entire part active. And here's what we got so far. We have our handle. We have the axle. Everything looks good. Actually, I do not like the size of that handle. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit this sketch. Let's go ahead and make that just a little bit bigger of a diameter. Let's do 0.375. And let's make that, I guess I didn't dimension that earlier. I thought I did, but. So all I did was make some edits to that sketch and it automatically changed what we need. Since we're making this a true top-down, everything is referenced to previous geometry. What I am going to do now is we're going to go into the box and handle and we are going to assign materials to these parts. So the physical material for this part on the left, what I'm going to do is it's going to be plastic. I'm going to do ABS plastic for the right bushing and the left bushing. Notice I couldn't see it because of the orientation. You can actually drag and drop straight onto those components and rather than trying to navigate around. And then for the axle and the handle, those are probably going to be made out of pine. I imagine most dowel rods are made out of pine. And there we go. If we want to change the color, we can. So we can actually go in here and we can escape. Let's go and we can, instead of physical material, we can do appearance. And I just like the color blue just because I think it looks good. So let's do a paint of a metallic blue on these 3D printed parts that we're going to do later. So even though the material is defined as ABS plastic, the color is defined as this metallic blue paint. So when we pull this into our drawing file, it's going to show ABS as the material and not whatever we have here as the appearance. Okay guys, I thought we were going to do some more pieces onto it, but this ran a little bit long. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome. If this video has been helpful, please like and subscribe. If you need help in any means, feel free to throw down in the comment section. I would love to help you navigate your part. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.